Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Yard. My name is Darryl Scotti, and today, of course, I'm joined with my co-host, producer, creative director, Alex Chacon. And we've got a special guest, music performer and songwriter, Joey Gutos. Before we start today's episode, I'd like to give you a little background on Joey. Joey Gutos is an indie pop artist from Tempe, Arizona. Over the last decade, Joey has become a preeminent collaborator. He's been writing, touring, producing. Joey released his debut EP to the world, followed by an amazing record release party the following day on Earth Day. Being an avid outdoorsman, Joey is a strong proponent of preserving our natural environments through the use of his art and his music. Thanks for being with us today. Let's get started. So welcome. Hey, Joey, good to see you, man.
You too. Thanks for having me.
And Alex, good to see you, man.
Yeah, it's good
Thank
to see
you
you
so
guys.
much
Yep.
for all your hard work and
course.
everything we're doing. This is going to be a great episode here. We've got a special guy here. Joey, first I wanted to just ask you a little bit about your music and give us a little bit of a background and kind of, what you're thinking when you're sitting down and you're composing and writing. And do you have a production mind or a value of some sort before you go into a project?
I mean, it kind of depends what I'm working on, but on like a day-to-day basis, especially, I go through seasons. I'm sure you're the same way, where sometimes, you may be more drawn to the production and sitting in front of a DAW and putting down parts and coming up with grooves and then maybe writing to that. Lately, the past, I wouldn't even say lately, probably the last year, it's been more sitting down with my acoustic guitar and just picking away and seeing what happens. I've become a big morning person, so I usually start my day with kind of some exercises, 10 minutes of just free writing, 10 minutes of playing, and then if I have something that kind of coalesces and feels good, I'll just kind of run with it. If it doesn't, then I'll just kind of split from it, go about my day, and then, get back in the writing room and actually try and lay something down. But I try and make it as organic as possible with just stemming from the acoustic guitar and writing lyrics and melodies and then see what goes from there.
Yeah, I dig the sound, and I particularly enjoyed the production value that you're coming up with. The mixes were just excellent. And in our third segment of Joey Gutos, we're going to be talking about one of his songs, so make sure that you get on that one too.
I really particularly like how you just talked about the season aspect of being an artist, because recently I was at a convention and they were talking about looking at it as seasons, breaking up your creative mindset and your timeline in seasons. And sometimes you have a really good season where you're just constantly coming up with great content and you're just inspired and there's so much coming into you. And then other times you're it's like a blank, there's nothing there. And so I really love that aspect of what you just said. That was awesome.
Yeah, I like the idea too of contraction and expansion phases. So when you're in a contraction phase, it's not because we as artists probably have a tendency to think, oh, if I'm not constantly inspired, something's wrong.
Right.
It's never gonna come back again. I'm screwed. This is, my career's over. And it's no, this is just the period of maybe getting back down to work and sharpening the tools and working on things that you hadn't before, learning songs by different artists and picking them apart and, using the time wisely, even though it's not wow, I'm coming up with the best shit ever.
Also, you were kind of mentioning your routine. Routine is so incredibly important to even though you're not maybe writing an immense amount of content or songs or whatever you're creating, you're not doing a lot of it, having a routine to practice it and at least forcing yourself to really dive in, whether it's creative or not, and then you can look at different aspects of writing and maybe practice or try different things, and it kind of opens different avenues for different creativeness.
Yeah, totally. So. Yeah, and I think having a certain amount of discipline in that respect is super important, because even if you're just working on something kind of arbitrary and not that exciting, you never know if that's going to be the moment when inspiration does strike too, and it's just because you told yourself to sit down and write.
Too, as a songwriter, I know particularly in when I sit down to write, and whether it's for a project or just an inspiration hits to you. But with somebody with your career. I mean, you're also then focused on getting the project done and getting it mixed properly and being happy with it, which is an arduous process. But then you're going to get ready for live shows and any touring that you're going to do or appearances you're going to do. And I know that you're involved in a lot, very active in the outdoorsman part of your life and in the environment. So I'm sure that there's a lot of thought and process that goes into that. Tell me a little bit about your background with music. I mean, how did you land on this lane?
When I was a kid, I was actually reading your bio, and you're from Ohio originally, right?
I graduated from school there.
Okay.
Long time ago.
Yeah, my whole mom's side of big Irish family's from Ohio, so I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, as a kid, I was like super into, like we're going back to 5th grade when I was, into Radio Disney and stuff like that, and all of my friends, we were trying to make like a boy band, like Backstreet Boys or NSYNC type shit. And I was the only one that ever like really took it seriously, because I would actually like try and write lyrics, and I couldn't play an instrument, but I had this little tape recorder that my dad had and would make melodies with my, just my voice and stuff like that. And so early on, I just kind of was driven to it. And, my parents played me Beatles, Stones, Beethoven, Tom Petty, like all kind of, that was their realm of music.
Were they musicians?
No, my dad was, he is a great poet and writer. But he's always kind of just done it on his own terms. Creative. My mom she's always had like a fiery passion for music, but neither of them were musicians. But I don't know, I just like my ear was always drawn to it. I saw a funny meme the other day that I sent to Jordan, because I always try to explain this to her. If I'm, at a social gathering or something and a great song comes on, my mind just like totally dissociates from the conversation. And it was like this guy that's like, he's talking about something, he's like holding a beer, and he's like, wait, hold on, I love this song. It's like a Steely Dan song, and he just starts to like mouth the entire guitar solo, and he's like, so anyways, and he comes back to it, and it's like, that is my mind, yeah, to a fault. But so I've just always been drawn to it regardless. But what really got me into it was hearing Led Zeppelin and seeing School of Rock, those two things, the movie School of Rock and the song Black Dog by Led Zeppelin.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Those are the two, like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Jack Black, man.
Yeah. You mentioned coming from Ohio, and that was a blessing for me. I mean, I came out of a very, we never really figured out what was going on in Akron for that Akron sound that came out, with Chrissie Hynde and Chai Pig and Devo and being close to Cleveland, where the rock was, the Rock Hall of Fame is in Cleveland. There's a reason for that, I mean, there was just this incredible culture of music that was going on back when I was a kid. So those were a lot of my influences that, kind of led me. And, I decided, of course, I saw the Beatles in '64 on Ed Sullivan. That was a little before your time. Phoenix has got an incredible, I'm learning. I've only been here for 3 years now. I just kind of jumped in the river and landed here and ended up meeting Alex. This is all Alex's fault, by the way.
Yeah.
I met him and it was like, whoa, that guy he's a special guy.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing all kinds of really cool stuff coming out. I knew Alice was from here. I won't use his real name, but I knew he was from here, and I knew Gin Blossoms were from here, and I knew that there was some great. Didn't Tool come out of Phoenix, or they developed a fan base?
Stevie Nicks was somebody that was from here. Yeah.
But there was this incredible, and I don't think Phoenix really ever got the credit for being a mecca, a center for it, and I think it is. All right, friends, we're going to wrap up this segment. Joey Gutos, thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. We've got a couple more segments coming up with Joey. Stick around, because we're going to talk about some of the industry stuff that this next round of Big Yard Nation is all about, so we're excited about that. And we've got a third segment that we're going to have. We're going to listen to some of his music, and we're going to critique that, so stick around there. You can subscribe for us right here on Big Yard Nation. You can take a look at our socials. You can go to, of course, we'll have some of the information on how to stay in touch with Joey. So when you're out there getting to wherever it is you're getting to, may all your dreams come true. May God bless and keep you safe, and we'll see you next time.